The demography of Sweden is monitored by Statistics Sweden. As of December 31, 2013, Sweden's population was estimated to be 9.64 million people, making it the 90th most populous country in the world. The three biggest cities are Stockholm, Gothenburg and Malmö. Paragraph. Approximately 85% of the country's population resides in its urban areas. Population statistics. At the Housing and Population Census 1990, the Swedish population stood at 8,587,353, out of which 4,242,351 male and 4,345,002 female. According to a 2012 survey, there were 1,473,256 foreign-born within the country, making up 15% of the population. Population, 9,644,864, annual population growth rate, 0.93%, birth rate, 11.78 births/1000 population, death rate, 9.37 deaths/1000 population, net birth surplus rate, 2.40 deaths/1000 population, net migration rate, 6.75 migrant, s/1000 population, total fertility rate, 1.94 children born woman, infant mortality rate, 2.75 deaths/1000 live births, urbanization, 85% of total population, rate of urbanization, 0.6% annual rate of change, life expectancy at birth, 81.18 years, male, 78.86 years, female, 83.63 years. Sweden Census 2005 equals, the 2005 Swedish census showed an increase of 475,322 compared to the 1990 census, an average increase of 31,680 annually. During the 1990s, birth rate increased by more than 100,000 children per year while death rates fell and immigration surged. In the early 2000s, birth rate declined as immigration increased further, with a context of unrest in the Middle East, upholding steady population growth. Ethnicity equals, the majority of the population are Swedes. The Sweden Finns are a large ethnic minority comprising approximately 50,000 along the Swedish-Finnish border, and 450,000 first- and second-generation immigrated ethnic Finns, mainly living in the Mar-Currency-Läran Valley region. May-Currency Nkieli Finnish has official status in parts of northern Sweden near the Finnish border. In addition, Sweden's indigenous population groups includes the Sami people, historically a nomadic reindeer herding group that has been native to Fenno-Scandinavia for at least 5,000 years. Today, the Sami language holds the status of official minority language in 4 municipalities in the Norrbotten County. Immigrants from the Middle East have been a rapidly growing share of Sweden unregistered trademark S population. According to the government agency Statistics Sweden, the number of Swedes born in all of Asia rose from just 1,000 in 1950 to 295,000 in 2003. Most of those immigrants came from Iraq, Iran, Lebanon and Syria, according to Statistics Sweden. Additionally, the birth rate among immigrants is higher than among ethnic Swedes. Vital statistics since 1900, data according to Statistics Sweden, which collects the official statistics for Sweden. Current vital statistics equals, number of births, from January to October 2013 equals 97,325, from January to October 2014 equals 98,326, number of deaths, from January to October 2013 equals 75,231, from January to October 2014 equals 73,606, natural increase, from January to October 2013 equals 22,904, from January to October 2014 equals 24,720. Population projections. Statistics Sweden projects the following population development in Sweden. Eurostat projects a population in Sweden reaching 10,382,000 people in 2035 and 10,875,000 in 2060. Migration. Immigration equals. As of 2011, Statistics Sweden reported that around 19.6% or 1,858,000 inhabitants of Sweden had foreign background, defined as born abroad or born in Sweden by two parents born abroad. Demographics. According to Eurostat, in 2010, there were 1.33 million foreign-born residents in Sweden, corresponding to 14.3% of the total population. Of these, 859,000 were born outside the EU and 477,000 were born in another EU member state. The 10 largest groups of foreign-born persons in the Swedish civil registry in 2014 were Finland, Iraq, Poland, Iran, former Yugoslavia, Syria, Somalia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Germany, Turkey. The 7 successor states of Yugoslavia have a combined population of 162,136 persons residing in Sweden, which would make them the largest foreign-born group. The number of Assyrians in Sweden is about 100,000 to 120,000. The majority of Iraqis in Sweden are Assyrians, and there is also a Mandarin community. The 10 fastest-growing groups of foreign-born residents in Sweden between 2013 and 2014 were the following nationalities: Syria, Eritrea, Somalia, Poland, Afghanistan, Romania, India, Iraq, Iran, Thailand. The growth largely reflects refugee and asylee resettlement and economic migration from the rest of the EU. History. World War II. Immigration increased markedly with World War II. Historically, the most numerous of foreign-born nationalities are ethnic Germans from Germany and other Scandinavians from Denmark and Norway. In short order, 70,000 war children were evacuated from Finland, of which 15,000 remained in Sweden. Also, many of Denmark's nearly 7,000 Jews who were evacuated to Sweden decided to remain there. A sizable community from the Baltic states arrived during the Second World War, 1945 to 1967. During the 1950s and 1960s, the recruitment of immigrant labor was an important factor of immigration. The Nordic countries signed a trade agreement in 1952, establishing a common labor market and free movement across borders. This migration within the Nordic countries, especially from Finland to Scandinavia, was essential to create the tax base required for the expansion of the strong public sector now characteristic of Scandinavia. This continued until 1967, when the labor market became saturated, and Sweden introduced new immigration controls. On a smaller scale, Sweden took in political refugees from Hungary and the former Czechoslovakia after their countries were invaded by the Soviet Union in 1956 and 1968 respectively. Contemporary immigration. Since the early 1970s, immigration to Sweden has been mostly due to refugee migration and family reunification from countries in the Middle East and Latin America. The first group of Assyrian Syriacs moved to Sweden from Lebanon in 1967. Many of them live in ZAR paragraph delta currency Alger. There are also around 40,000 Roma in Sweden. Immigration of Iraqis increased dramatically during the Iraq War, during 2003 to 2007. A total of 8,951 Iraqis came to Sweden in 2006, accounting for 45% of the entire Iraqi migration to Europe. By 2007, the community of Iraqis in Sweden numbered above 70,000. In 2008, Sweden introduced tighter rules on asylum seekers. Emigration equals. In the 19th century, Sweden's yearly population growth rate peaked at 1.2%, compared to 1% today. This considerable population growth rate led, before the Industrial Revolution, to a pauperization of the rural population, for each generation inherited smaller and smaller shares. Due to years of crop failure in the 1840s and 1860s, the U.S. Homestead Act of 1862, and to a lesser extent religious persecution, emigration started and grew. Between 1850 and 1931 1,050,000 Swedes emigrated, chiefly to Canada, US and to Denmark. If they had not left, Sweden's population would have been about 2 million higher today, assuming famine and civil war would not have resulted from their staying. The remigration of Swedish nationals from the US was culturally more important than the absolute figures reveal. The remigrants often resettled in their native parish, where their relative wealth and foreign experience ensured a prestigious position in the community. U.S. views, values and not the least worldview followed the remigrants, ensuring a popular perception of closeness to U.S., contrary to the situation in for instance neighboring Denmark or Finland. Language. The Swedish language is by far the dominating language in Sweden, and is used by the government administration. Since 1999, Sweden has 5 officially recognized minority languages: Sami, Meänkieli Nkieli, Standard Finnish, Romani Chib and Yiddish. The Sami language, spoken by about 7,000 people in Sweden, may be used in government agencies, courts, preschools and nursing homes in the municipalities of Arjeplog, Gothenburg, Jokkmokk and Kiruna and its immediate neighborhood. Similarly, Finnish and Meänkieli Nkieli can be used in the municipalities of Gothenburg, Haparanda, Kiruna, Pajala and Övertorneå and its immediate neighborhood. Finnish is also official language, along with Swedish, in the city of Eskilstuna. During the mid to late 20th century, immigrant communities brought other languages, among others being Turkish, Serbo-Croatian, Arabic, Neo-Aramaic. Religion. The majority of the population belongs to the Church of Sweden, the Lutheran Church that was disestablished in 2000. This is because until 1996, those who had family members in the church automatically became members at birth. Other Christian denominations in Sweden include the Roman Catholic Church, several Orthodox churches in diaspora, Baptist, Pentecostal, Neo-Pietistic and other evangelical Christian churches. Shamanism persisted among the Sami people up until the 18th century, but no longer exists in its traditional form as most Sami today belong to the Lutheran Church. Jews were permitted to practice their religion in 5 Swedish cities in 1782, and have enjoyed full rights as citizens since 1870. The new Freedom of Religion Bill was passed in 1951, and former obstacles against non-Lutherans working in schools and hospitals were removed. Further, that bill made it legal to leave any religious denomination, without entering another. There are also a number of Muslims, Buddhists, and Baha'i in Sweden, mainly from immigration. See also, Statistics Sweden, Municipalities of Sweden, Demographical Center of Sweden, Immigration to Europe, List of countries by immigrant population, Aging of Europe. References. External links. Population statistics: a Euro in English, Statistics Sweden, a Euro official database.